EU's farm animals produce more emissions than cars and vans combined. So this is what it comes down to. Everything that you need to survive, that's all bad for the planet. You having babies, you having families, that's the worst for the planet. But you eating meat, eating food that's going to allow you to be allow you to be fertile and not sterile. That's going to allow you to grow, to thrive and have a functioning immune system, to be able to formulate opinions and thoughts, to be able to synthesize information into an opinion, to be able to critically think. The nutrients you need to develop your central nervous system, they're going to tell you those are bad for the planet. The foods that you can produce on your own land and feed your own families and your own community, those are bad. You need to buy our industrial slop. You need to buy our industrial slop. So you got all of these, you got the Guardian.com environment, in concert with the usual climate crisis stuff. And they're always publishing this. Remember, we learned about the open philanthropy. There you go. Animals Farmed is supported by the Open Philanthropy Project. So this is not journalism. This is sponsored content. This organization, openphilanthropy.org, gave $900,000 for this year to The Guardian. Imagine your blog getting $900,000. Jessica wasn't here when we talked about this a few months ago. She says, that's naughty. That's naughty. The Guardian, you're naughty. Openphilanthropy.org for journalism on factory farming and animal cruelty.
Do they disclose it, that it's a sponsored post?
Well, they say right here, Animals Farmed is supported by Open Philanthropy Project. But most people don't
say what it is.
Nah, they don't tell you what it is. This is
FDA
paid.
is on bloggers' butts for not disclosing.
Paid. They can't hear you. If you want to come talk, you got to come next to the mic, and you can. I'm sure they'd be interested. But this is standard practice. So $900,000. Imagine your website, Jessica. $900,000 to run a series against animal agriculture. Prince Charles calls for Marshall-like plan for the planet. The Prince of Wales is a long-standing advocate for the environment. The Prince of Wales, so he's an advocate for the environment. His remarks add to the intensifying debate surrounding climate change and its effects on the planet. So he just cares so much. Prince Charles has called for a Marshall-like plan for nature, people, and planet. This is CNBC.com, adding his voice to the intensifying debate surrounding climate change and its effects on the planet. So again, more sponsored content pushing Green New Deal, Brave New World. Speaking Monday, on the opening day of Climate Week, NYC, the heir apparent to the British throne, said, "The borderless climate, biodiversity, and health crises are all symptoms of a planet that has been pushed beyond its planetary boundaries." Now, with Prince Charles, he has this kind of smarmy voice. Prince Charles. Borderless climate, biodiversity, and health crises are all symptoms of a planet that has been pushed beyond its planetary boundaries. Remember, planetary boundaries. Within planetary boundaries, that's straight out of the Club of Rome. All right, that's right out of the Club of Rome, first global revolution. Within planetary boundaries. Meaning within the boundaries that the World Economic Forum sets. The global economic elite want to set boundaries on where you can go, what you can do, what you can consume, what you can eat. A borderless climate, biodiversity, and health crisis. So they're borderless crises. We need a borderless response. We can't have these national responses to these. We need a global response. He says that we need a global Marshall-like plan for nature, people, and planet. Oh, he's so nice.
Biodiversity and health crises are all symptoms of a planet that has been pushed beyond its planetary boundaries. Without swift and immediate action at an unprecedented pace and scale, we will miss the window of opportunity to reset for a green-blue recovery and a more sustainable and inclusive future.
Oh, yes. We need a global Marshall Plan. Remember the Marshall Plan? He's talking about World War II level mobilization of all nations to fight against the climate crisis, which they're saying is being caused by humans. You don't realize they openly tell you that this is a genocidal movement to reduce the population. They openly tell you that the problem with climate change is there's too many people. That's what they believe. They openly tell you you can't have your own livestock. I mean, this is this dude's mother. When the Queen's children were going to school, right? When what's his face, Prince Harry and William. How do you know Prince William and Prince Harry?
Tablets.
Okay, Prince William and Prince Harry. When they went to school, they went to school in a place where they couldn't have raw milk, but their mother, the Queen, sent them raw milk from her own herd, right? They have their own little dairy herd, and she would send raw milk to her boys when they were at school. They have tons of livestock. They own more land. Are they still the biggest landowners in the world? Is the British royal family still the biggest landowner? Yes. They might be behind, I don't know, maybe the Chinese Communist Party might have taken them over. But some of the biggest landowners in the world. But they always use this rhetoric like Attenborough saying, oh, if we all just ate plants, the planet can't support billions of meat eaters. If we all ate only plants, we'd need only half the land we use at this moment. Right? It's about land. It's about control of resources. If we all ate plants, we could get rid of half you people off of that land and use it for what we want to use it for.
In other words, the global pandemic is a wake-up call we simply cannot ignore. Having been at this now for well over 40 years, I have long observed that people tend not to act until there is a real crisis.
Oh, so what we've also learned is that if you just create a crisis, it doesn't even have to be real, then you can get people to act in a way that you've engineered them to act.
Ladies and gentlemen, that crisis has been with us for far too many years, decried, denigrated, and denied. It is now rapidly becoming a comprehensive catastrophe that will dwarf the impact of the coronavirus pandemic.
Dwarf the impact, the climate crisis. So anything that these people do from now on, they're just going to blame it on climate crisis. I don't know if you guys have seen this pattern. You could just everything's because of the climate. It's all climate change. You stub your toe, climate change. Walruses getting chased off the cliff by BBC crews, climate change. Jimmy Savile ritualistically abusing children for decades, given the keys to psychiatric hospitals and children's hospitals. Close friends with the royal family, knighted by the Queen, very good friends with Prince Charles. Well, of course, that's because of climate change.
At this late stage, I can see no other way forward but to call for a Marshall-like plan for nature, people, and planet. With the planetary emergency so critical, with the permafrost melting in Siberia, for instance, producing dire effects on global warming.
So they're asking for it's a new Marshall Plan. This is essentially a giant bailout, a complete restructuring of the whole financial system while they restructure your very way to life. But it's to save the planet. If we could just restructure the financial system, we'll save the planet. So it goes on for like 15 minutes.